So in this segment, we're going to be discussing Rachel Reeves saying that people did vote when we voted for Brexit. We voted to leave the single market and the customs union, which is a really Brexit-y thing to say, something that Brexiteers kept claiming, even though at the time they said we could be like Norway or be like Switzerland, who are in the single market. Genuinely makes no sense what she's saying here. Incredible Brexit-y argument she's making.
But not membership of the single market. Keir Starmer's made that clear. But what hasn't been made clear is why not? Is that a political decision because it's just not achievable in the current political context? Or do you genuinely believe that it wouldn't make us better off?
I'd say two things. First of all, people did vote almost 7 years ago now to leave the European Union. And that ship has now sailed. That is now a settled
but not the single
position.
Market.
Well, look, I think that if you're going to leave the European Union, the single market and the customs union, free movement were integral to those. And
but
second,
that's not what Keir Starmer used to say. He used to say we should remain members of the single market and the customs union, and that we could do having left the EU.
So I don't know what she goes on to say, what she goes on to answer, but it's a bit weird. She said they vote to leave the single market, leave the customs union, and no freedom of movement. Like she's kind of singled that out there to make that point that Labour are really much against freedom of movement because of certain voters, etc. But if we go to what Rachel Reeves has actually said here, what she has tweeted out over the years. You've got this is about Japanese Honda. Japanese car maker Honda is drawing up plans to close manufacturing plant in Swindon. He said, awful news for the workers at Honda and in the supply chain, a devastating blow to UK manufacturing. This just can't go on. The PM must immediately take no deal off the table and keep us in the single market and customs union to protect free and frictionless trade. She tweeted that in February 18, 2019. You've got this again saying the government needs to act now. This is an urgent wake-up call. They must rule out no deal, keep us in the single market and customs union. When was that? That was in February 19th, 2019. He said we need to remain in a customs union for the good of jobs and investment in our country, which is different. But Labour aren't proposing a customs union or the customs union. So again, a bit fraudulent from her. And you've got this one: walking away from a customs union could put a peace in Northern Ireland and our successful manufacturing industries at risk. This is why we have tabled a motion calling on the government to keep the UK inside a customs union beyond March 2019. And she's made more statements. She's made more statements than this. Regarding the single market and the customs union, but you can see what a fraudulent statement she's making here. And Labour has absolutely tied itself in knots trying to appeal to these red wall voters, and this is just ridiculous. And the fact is, the internet exists. So, journalists, if they're smart, they can do what this gentleman here, Sal Staniforth, has done and just pull out these quotes and say, well, in 2019 you said leaving the EU didn't mean leaving the single market. What's changed? Because Starmer keeps going on the dodge of, well, we've left now, we need to look at what we can do now. But the simple fact is, when you make ridiculous statements like this, where she says, leaving the EU meant leaving the single market and the customs union, you just look stupid, because that's not what you said in the past, and that's not even what Brexiteers said at the time. And it's just frustrating that this is the Labour Party here. And, you got them celebrating that, Starmer looks more Brexit-y than Rishi Sunak. It's like, are you on crack? Because that's not what the voting base want. You can argue that's what certain people in the red wall want, but have you actually tried to explain to them, the benefits of freedom of movement, of the single market? No, you haven't. You haven't done the outreach. You've said you've listened to people, but you haven't tried to change their minds. You've done the easy thing, which is just listen to them and, hope that eventually they come to the right conclusions, which we know doesn't happen. You have to try and go out there and convince people and be bold. But, the Labour Party now, in my opinion, a bunch of cowards. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.